West with Haynes broadcasting live from Fayetteville, North Carolina. We got a very interesting show for you guys today. For people who don't know who the Maestro is, or Maestro Papa Stro, Rob Kellum, former WCW wrestler, and been in acting, been in entertainment arts, been doing all kinds of stuff, music. So welcome to that show, Maestro. And we also have Trenton Neal with Next Level Pro Wrestling and Chris Porterfield, my co-host here on That Show Fayetteville, joining us live today. And so how's everybody doing?
Great. Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, man.
Doing good, doing
We
good.
appreciate it. So, Mr. Kellum, you're native to Raleigh, North Carolina. You was born there, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Oh yeah. I was raised here, and this is North Carolina's home.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. And
Right.
you're the great nephew of the flamboyant legend. Was it Gorgeous George? If I
Gorgeous
remember.
George.
Yeah, George Wagner.
Yes, sir.
So, what was that like growing up as a kid? Seeing him. Was he a big influence for you?
It's funny how fate happens in life and how God takes you in different directions. Because I've always had a lifelong passion to be a professional wrestler and get into pro wrestling. And I didn't find out till later on in life, actually during when I first started wrestling, that of my relation with the original Gorgeous George. And it started years ago where I started through my first matches with WCW, right?
Yeah.
And friends of mine, Dusty Rhodes and William Regal, pulled me aside, and they were comparing my style and look to the original Gorgeous George, right?
Yeah.
And then it just escalated from there. I had more people tell me the same thing, and it started snowballing. So I went to my grandpa one day, and I asked, Grandpa, and I told him the situation, and my grandpa stepped back and looked at me and he says, "You didn't know?" And I was like, "Didn't know what?" Right? And my grandpa smarted me up and said that they were buddies back in the day, and amateur, because my grandpa used to be an amateur boxer back in the day before he broke into business.
Yeah.
And so that, but that bombshell dropped on me, right? It inspired me to carry on tradition in honor of him, pay homage to him as being Gorgeous George III, and in which at the time Dusty was interested in bringing me in as a arch nemesis for Johnny B. Bad as Gorgeous George III, right? And that almost happened, but for some reason it didn't fall through, and I ended up starting with Gorgeous George III in Memphis wrestling.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, man. And I don't know if you know or remember, but do you know Mr. Trenton Neal here that's in the show with us?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah, I hope. Yeah. I do it. Is he on? Is he on you now?
Yeah, he's on here now.
Hey, Trent, how you doing, brother? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so he's also a part of my radio broadcast team. He's like, he's coming on, man. I got to be on. So I was like, yeah, come on, man, be on the show.
Oh, it's really cool. Small world, right?
Yeah. So now, in your early career, you trained under respective veteran Nelson Royal, Gene Anderson, and Ivan Koloff. What was that like, man?
Oh man, it was an interesting time in my life because I was collegiate wrestling at the time, and I was kind of kayfabing on both ends, right? Keeping on the down low because, like collegiate sports weren't too, kosher with pro wrestling at the time, and so I was keeping my pro wrestling training kind of on the down low while I'm wrapping up, with collegiate wrestling, and I couldn't gain a pound to save my life because anybody knows anything about training for amateur wrestling, man, it's like it's cardio central. I mean, it's like train like a track star, and like it took me forever to gain a pound or so, right? And all the guys I'm in school with, they had the size advantage over me, big beefy guys, and so it took me a bit to get some size on me, but I learned a lot. It was really cool with the area at the time because a lot of old school Mid Atlantic wrestling veterans would come by. Johnny Weaver and Ricky Steamboat and all that, and Ivan's school and Nelson and Gene Anderson's school was on different parts of Charlotte, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I would go to Mooresville to get trained, Nelson and Gene, and then go to the Indian Trail where Ivan Koloff had his school, right?
Oh yeah.
And it was cool. And every then I'd bump into Ricky Steamboat, who didn't live too far from me. I guess I was in Mooresville, right, and he was in Lake Norman, right. So it all worked out. So yeah, I mean, like a wealth of knowledge was there with me at the time. Ken Shamrock was training with me. Matter of fact, he was part of an independent promotion, South Atlantic Pro Wrestling at the time. He was known as Vince Torelli. He was managed by Paul Jones, right?
Yeah. So, what influences?
Todd Champion, Curtis Thompson was part of the school, and yeah.
Yeah. So, what lessons from them still guide you to today?
Oh man, we used to watch videotapes along with the training, and I remember the first videotape I studied was an old match with Johnny Valentine and Chief Wahoo McDaniel, and the psychology of that match.
Yeah, I got autographs from him.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, it's so funny. I allude back to fate and where God takes you. Is like I'm watching the match of Wahoo and Johnny Valentine. Then like went long after that when I first started had my first matches in the business. Here I'm in the ring with Chief Wahoo McDaniel. Like, oh my gosh, I did, what I mean? And oh man, I learned so much from Wahoo. Funny story, Wahoo. One time, after one of our matches, I'm sitting in the locker room, right? And earlier in the match that we had, I had picked him up in the vertical suplex, right? And which is no easy task. He's a big man, right?
Yeah,
and and after the match, I'm sitting, I'm like lacing my boots, and he walks over to me, sits down beside me, looks at me, shakes his head, and says, I haven't been suplexed like that since Harley Race. And that's how we broke the ice and got to be friends. And he showed me some things that he showed Ric Flair and all that. And, told me some awesome road stories. I mean, just sitting there in the learning tree from Chief all the way down, it was really cool.
Yeah. Now your first, your very first match was January 1st of 1990, I think it was. Yeah,
my first wrestling match was in Kannapolis, North Carolina.
Oh, wow.
Against current Atlantic Coast Wrestling. That's an independent promotion there in the area. That's your champion, L.A. Stevens. And sure. Do you have your first match against the heavyweight champ? I mean, my gosh, that's pretty wild, right? But yeah. I mean, it was a great learning experience, and ironically enough, not long after that, I ended up being the youngest ACW champion in their company history.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's awesome. So that's cool. So it everything's a learning experience. It paved the way, and like I said, I'm very grateful for the wealth of knowledge that was around me that I learned from.
So my question, so around the early 90s, with wrestling changing around that time, like we were still in technically the last bit of the golden era. Give like what's the way I want to say it? Like, what was it like in the indies in the early 90s back then? Because right after the 80s, it just like things started slowing down. There was no territories, and people were trying to find their way. And the only time you'll find like mid-level mid-level companies or big name companies that are still going, like, NWA was still trying to hold on. Japan, they're still doing good even though they went through their slump. Mexico, what was it like back then? What was it harder, or was it, what was that shift in that time frame was like?
Well, when I broke into business, it was like during the latter parts of the territories in which, like you said, wrestling was going through a transition into like a valley stage. It always goes to peak and valley stages through the years. It's a cycle, and
Mm-hmm.
it was tough. It was really tough, and the business was really close knit. I mean, we didn't just let anybody break in pro wrestling. You had to really pay the dues, earn your keep, and just proved you belonged. And I mean, it
Sure.
wasn't an easy task. I mean, it was tough, but
Yeah.
it's like anything else. You got to be persistent at it, and you have your good days and bad days. And even though it was a hard time being in the business, you just you just kind of keep at it, keep hitting the roads, keep making the towns, and do what you can to better yourself in your career uh, and all that. So,
Yeah.
it was a tough time, but it was tough for everybody. Because we had to really earn our stripes.
Yeah, that's good. So,
Yeah.
go ahead, Chris.
I was gonna say, that, I mean, I can definitely understand it because it was still like an industry. It's just the industry, like, was you just feel like that, man. The industry just shrinking and shrinking, like, and I think, and I've heard so many similar stories, like, will pro wrestling will still continue on, you know.
Yeah. So, Mr. Kellum, in Smoky Mountain Wrestling, you had a notable rivalries with Tim Horner and Chris Candio. How did working with SMW shape your style when you came out and started wrestling?
Oh man, Smoky Mountain Wrestling helped me tremendously. I mean, at the time, Smoky Mountain Wrestling was the liaison between WWE and WCW, and the talent that was there at the time was just second to none. I mean, we had young stars like myself. You mentioned like some of them, Chris Candido, Bobby Blaze, Taz, Jericho, Storm, Night Stalker, Brian Clark. Um, I mean, it was just an awesome time. And the veterans, learning from the veterans there, Rock and Roll Express, Arn Anderson, Bobby Eaton, Paul Orndorff, Ron Garvin, the Tennessee Stud Stable, Robert Fuller, Jimmy Golden, Heavenly Bodies, Tom Pritchard, Stan Lane, Jimmy Del Rey, Dirty White Boy, Tony Anthony, Tracy Smothers. Oh my God, Kevin Sullivan, and Primetime Brian Lee. I mean the massive roster, and I learned so much from them and Cornette. Uh, those guys really looked out for me, and it helped pave the way for a lot of things ahead for my career. So I'm forever grateful for my run, Smoky Mountain Wrestling. And you mentioned Chris Candido earlier. We know I miss Chris so much. What an awesome talent he was. And at the time, Smoky Mountain, we were about the same age, and we were just two young kids trying to break and make our name in the business. And it's a very special time for me.
So,
So, go
let's,
ahead, Trent.
yeah, I want to ask a question. How was it? I think you told me this story before. I don't know if you remember. How was it working for Jim Cornette?
Mr. Kellum, did you hear him?
No, I didn't hear him. Sorry.
I said, how was it working for Mr. Jim Cornette?
So he asked a question. How was it working for Jim Cornette? It may be something be going on with software there, but that's what he's asking.
Oh, Cornette was great. Oh gosh, I mean, like a wealth of knowledge, and I mean, he he was always good to the boys. Always really good to the boys. You know, it's just, I mean, he was very strict with the crew production and everything. I mean, but he was, you know, he was just a perfectionist. He wanted things done right, and he was great to me. Uh, Tim Horner was always great to me. Um, you know, Les Thatcher and Sandy Scott. I mean, they're everyone was super cool, and you know, Dutch Mantel, who's I love Dutch's sense of humor, right? But he was such a wealth of knowledge. I mean, it was just it was like being in class in pro wrestling at the time for me. So
Yeah,
I mean, I was just happy to be a student.
yeah, that's good stuff. So, now, one thing that I learned about you that I didn't know about you, even after meeting you with Anthony Dowling, is that before turning pro, you had musical talent and competed in college wrestling. But did you ever imagine those two passions, of music and wrestling, would ever later combined in your career?
It it took me a while. Well, it took a while rather for my theater teacher and choir teacher to forgive me when I got out of theater because I was in a lot of plays, like I was Shakespeare, like Hamlet type plays, church plays. I was in the Cats play, you know, Broadway, and Dodo Bird and Alice in Wonderland. I was the king that got betrayed in Macbeth. I even played Moses in the Ten Commandments at one time, you know, and
That's awesome.
it took me a while for when I got to wrestling, you know, my theater teacher she had heat with me for that. She wanted to pursue the arts, right? But once she found out how theatrical I was being with the wrestling and everything, and then later on when I got into acting and film, she forgave me. So you know, it's all good now.
Yeah. So that's awesome,
That's pretty
man.
cool.
Does
So,
one question?
I was
Go
gonna say, uh, which play, what was your favorite play that you enjoy doing?
You know, various ones. Macbeth was really cool.
Okay.
Macbeth was cool. You know, those cats outfits were like so hot. You know, we didn't have like we have now with AI or CG. You know what I mean? It was just we had to wear these furry suits. You know,
Right.
but I'm you know, those medieval type plays. You know, I always dug because you know I'm a fan of that time period, and the knights, and you know the kings, and
that's
you know
awesome.
that type castles. So it's all good.
Right.
So, now, when you got into WCW, that was the Maestro era. How did the opportunity to join WCW in 1999 come about for you?
Oh, that's an interesting story all in itself. Oh my gosh. Well, I had just I was doing a tour of Puerto Rico with Carlos Colon, Carlito's dad, right? And I was I was staying in the condo in San Juan. Sean Morley was my roommate, Balvinus, right?
Oh, wow, yeah.
He picks up the phone, and turns out it's Macho Man Randy Savage is on the phone, right? And Sean's looking at me, and I'm watching the E channel at the time, and I was like, "Who is it?" Right? And Sean was like, "It's Randy Savage," and he really talks like that. I'm like, come on, get out of here, right? Give me a break. So I grabbed the phone. I said, "Hello," and I didn't trust Sean at first because you know he likes to rib me sometimes, you know. But I love Sean. He's a great dude. But I get on the phone and say, "Hey, how you doing? It's Randy." I'm like, I'll be doggone it is Randy, right? So he's telling me he heard about me from Jerry Jarrett, where I wrestled for in Memphis, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jerry put a good word in for me to him, and he was interested in bringing me down to a Nitro so I can meet Hogan and Bischoff and everybody. And I, okay, sure. So they flew me down to the Nitro there, and they had limousine service and everything, and I got to meet Hogan and Bischoff and of course Randy.
Yeah.
And my first tryout match that night was with Jeff Farmer, who eventually the NWO Sting.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And we had a good match and everything. And there were talks about bringing me in. To use Gorgeous George for Lanny Poffo.
Yeah.
And to bring me in a whole new different deal, right? And neither deal fell through, unfortunately. And which I was cool with it because I knew Lanny could carry it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Carry on the Gorgeous George thing, but I went on back to being Gorgeous George when that fell through, and I did a tour at AAA in Mexico with Jake Snake Roberts.
Yeah, I love Jake Snake. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah.
And
I watch you guys all the time on there, man, on TV. Jake Snake and you and everybody, Sting and all those guys, man. WCW was my thing back in the day.
Yeah.
We got to main event Triple Mania, 1997, man, and oh man, what a huge house that was! It was incredible, and we're in a main event with we're sharing the ring with legends like Paraguayo, Mexico, Octagon, Cibernetico.
Oh wow!
And,
so let me ask you this: during that time frame, who did you enjoy working with the most during your WCW run? Was it Evan Carragus, Norman Smiley,
It's Evan,
Ernst Miller?
What Wesley? It's Evan Courageous. You said his last name wrong.
I might say it wrong. I'm sorry.
Those were all great guys. Norman. Oh man, what a class act Norman was! Real class act, and what a great wrestler he was. Matter of fact, right before I started wrestling with Norman, I saw some matches he had with Dean Malenko. Just blew me away. I mean, how good they were, and I was really excited to wrestle with Norman, and it was great being with him, and Evan Courageous, Ernest Cat Miller was amazing. In fact, there were even bigger plans for us ahead. We were going to do more, but the office was in such disarray at the time, and we had felt like a new boss every 2 weeks, and it was just it was. And I mean, us as talent, we did what we could, what was given to us. We try to make lemonade out of lemons, that type of thing.
I want to.
But yeah, all those guys are great.
I want to ask. And I think it was at a spring stampede or a bash at the beach. Wasn't it show? One of those shows that James Brown was at. You were there backstage with him. How was meeting James Brown?
Mr. Brown was amazing. Getting to chat with him and talk to him and telling stories about my granduncle and how my granduncle inspired him. I just had chills the whole time talking to him about that. I mean, you guys like him and Muhammad Ali would talk about, your granduncle and everything. It's like, oh crap. It's just to be a part of that, just to experience it. That was just incredible. And I mean, it was funny because, James and I were talking and we're watching Ernest dance in the ring. And we're both laughing at Ernest trying to do this dance. And I mean, that night, when we did the angle, and when James Brown came out, I mean, the pop was just deafening. It was amazing, and I pulled the. I'm a big Sanford & Son fan, right?
I love Sanford & Son.
And I pulled the old Sanford & Son when he talks to Elizabeth and passes out. You know what I mean? I did one of those numbers in the ring, right? and my valet was trying to fan me, wake me up. I'm like, fast. I took the bump in the ring,
Uh,
but
that's
it was a
Symphony, right?
great time.
Wasn't your
Symphony,
yeah,
yeah, she
Symphony?
used to
Yeah,
be in Shamrock and WWE, and
yeah,
her real name's Alicia Webb. Yeah,
yeah. It's a small world. Yeah. So now,
sweetheart of a lady.
yeah. Now post WCW, you kind of reinvented yourself. You went from the Maestro to the Stro or Papa Stro. But a lot of people don't know what happened during the time in between there. So, for anybody out there who's listening in the world, like, was you training people then, or like in between those two periods?
Well, yeah, I was at this wrestling school. I was training people. I was, going forth with the acting, television, and film. Um, I still was wrestling in different areas, and including most notably NWA Mountain State.
Yeah,
I was back wrestling with the NWA, in which
that's
I,
ACPW, right?
uh,
I think it was ACPW or
no, that was one of the independent promotions I was with.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah, okay,
but this was the one I was alluding to earlier was NWA Mountain State. They're out of West Virginia,
yeah, and that was the main
and
one.
they were affiliated with the NWA at the time, in which I had some great matches with then NWA World Champ Adam Pearce.
Yeah. So
Now he's a general manager in Raw. So.
yeah. Now, when you was training back then, what was you were in the wrestling school there? What did you prioritize in teaching the next generation of wrestlers? Because wrestling's changed so much, and what's your viewpoints on how it has changed today?
Well, it's great that the talent of the day gets the opportunities they do have compared to when I was being brought up in the business. I mean, it's wonderful, and one thing I stress and advise to a younger generation is longevity, and you can make any style work. I mean, we're all like storytellers, and we want to and people want to be involved in our story. Bring them in, tell the stories, but preserve yourself. I mean, your body's your product. You got to take care of your body.
Absolutely.
Make it work. And I mean, that's how we make a living. And so, that it all starts with you. I mean, and for others to believe in you and what you do and your craft, your gimmick, persona, whatever, you have to start with yourself.
Yeah, that's awesome.
If you believe in yourself, others going to believe in you.
Yeah. Now, when you was you was part of 4 different groups, the Fourth Alliance and ACPW. But we got a question here. It says, do you prefer single competitions or factions or storyline work? What do you when you speaking about storylines?
Well, I love being. I mean, whether it be acting, wrestling, I always love being part of a good story, right?
Yeah.
And as far as wrestling then goes, I've done mostly singles, but I do enjoy tag team wrestling, being involved in tag team wrestling. I think tag team wrestling is a huge lost art.
Yeah.
And so I have a love for them both.
Now, your acting career got you some great opportunities. I was informed not too long ago that you was a part of One Tree Hill, which that's interesting. And you was in some indie films as well. Can you go into details about those opportunities and stuff?
Yeah, I was at One Tree Hill. I've been in Secrets and Lies on ABC, Good Behavior in TNT, Sleepy Hollow on Fox. And some of the independent films I've been involved. One's a DC fan film called The Devil's Daughter, a Harlequin Story, where I portrayed Dr. Arkham.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Right.
And that won me a nomination at the Cannes Film Festival in France for that. Also, I have my own IMDb. Actually, you can check out my filmography and some short films, and I have documentaries I'm a part of and everything. So
That's
Okay.
awesome, man. So you've had a pretty exciting life. It seems like that's awesome, man.
yeah,
Uh,
and being involved with acting, on the producing end, stunt choreography, etc. I'm kind of been working my way around the film industry, and think about being in film. I mean, it's just like wrestling. You always learn something new,
yeah,
and it's always
that's my next question for
amazing.
you.
Yeah, it's amazing what you learn, and
Yeah,
and it makes you realize how things are intertwined.
yeah,
Everything is, we're all part of the same matrix, right? And
yeah.
um, like with it's all about telling the story, and just like film, it's just like a match, it's little things
Yeah, so
that
it adds
make it
up.
what it's all
Yeah,
about, right?
yeah, that's cool. So I'm guessing you. So what you're saying is preparing for film roles is almost the same as preparing for a match. Going through
Basically,
remembering. Okay, that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
basically, yeah,
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 yeah. I gotta get applause for that. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, it's the little things too. I mean, the little things makes a match just like it would in the film, and to make us, to make a scene stand out. So the little intricate things.
yeah. So we have a message from one of our sponsors here, and this is part of an organization you was part of. I'm going to play it right here.
Working with a
All right.
network of industry professionals, Eno River Media strives to grow a stronger North Carolina film economy through advocacy. Please visit our website at enorivermedia.com and donate. Your donation creates a more vibrant North Carolina film and television industry. Thank you.
That's from Eno River Media Entertainment, and you was part of that, and that's actually how we met through Anthem.
Yeah. Well, I'm still with them actually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm still with them on the board. I'm a former vice president of Union River Media, and they do great things, helping out with the film industry in the East Coast and abroad.
Yeah.
So so it's been a real honor being a part of that and being a part of the great people that it consists of.
Yeah. Trent, you got any other questions? I thought you, like you said, you had a question or something. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I got many questions. First off, I spent like 18 hours on a weekend with this dude in the car. He got sick and tired of me. He threw me out the car. Yeah. Then like
I
this is one
apologize.
this is one story. This one story we were I want before I tell this one story, I got to tell the story. We were traveling up to New Jersey, right? And I couldn't drive, and he had to drive the whole way there. And it was like he was yawning and yawning. And then he probably don't remember. This is one point where he was nodding off while driving. I was like, "Come on, dude, wake up! I'm not trying to have an accident, man." It was 3 o'clock in the morning. We were coming from Parsippany, I think it was Parsippany, New Jersey, one of those towns. Yeah,
Yeah,
Parsippany,
it was
New Jersey.
Pacific. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we were in the locker room. This other story I got. We were in the locker room. The UPWA was a promotion that we both worked for.
Yeah.
Um, Don Brower and his Don Brower, Moses Manson, rest in peace. Mike Orlando, Sonny Kiss used to work for that promotion also. So there's this one time where I was in the locker room and there's this baby carriage, right? So I'm thinking somebody's got like, one of the wrestlers has a little kid, a little baby. And I'm walking, I guess I'm going back to my spot to get dressed and finish getting dressed. And I bump into the baby carriage. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And it's Stro and it's him. He's like, oh, no, man, you're fine. And I look at the baby carriage, it's a mannequin baby. I'm like, man, what in the
That's funny.
It's a mannequin. Come on, yo.
So
Yeah, that was my whack doppelganger.
Oh God.
So
That's all part of that's a whole new story itself. I used to have a Papa Stro persona, like real creepy type persona, and Dorothy was the doll I would hang around with, and I'd put her in the
Yeah.
carriage.
Yeah. So, Trent, let me ask you this question. During that 18-hour trip, what was the number one thing that you learned from Mr. Stro here?
I think it was, if I can remember, this is like almost 10 years ago now. He told me the same thing that Hang Time used to tell me is like when you're in your match, less is more. Like you don't have to do 1,000 moves. You can do all those thousands, you can do all these flips and stuff like that, but if people don't remember it, they don't remember it. So less
Yeah.
is more. Slowing down and soaking in the moment. It's like
Yeah.
when you're going over your match in the back, you're trying to remember all of these moves, all this, trying to remember this spot and that spot. The key thing is slowing down. Less is more. Don't try to rush through the match. Just soak in and enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
And it's like it's and I got a story about when we went up to New Jersey and we had that match. I forgot who he. I think he was working either LA Tank or he had a faction and they were in a war against I think it was either the Moses Manson family or somebody else. But I had a match against this guy named Buster Jackson, and
Yeah.
I had this girl on my mind during the match. So I can remember the match. I can remember the things that we were supposed to do, but I couldn't get this girl off my mind to save my life. And we come to the back, and the promoter was like, because the promoter was Don, he was going to give me a push. He was like, I'm going to put the belt on you, but that match was it could have been better. I was like, yeah, it could have been better. So I get to the back, and we go to the outside, and me and the guy I worked, we're having a conversation. And he's like, man, we messed up this spot and that spot, whatever. So Stro comes out, and he's all calm. Like everybody else is like, well, you messed up. But Stro is like real calm. He's like, yeah, man, don't worry about it. You'll have plenty of other matches. It happens.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Speaking of Hang Time, he's a sponsor of our radio station, so I'm going to play one of his commercials real quick right here in our little set here.
Fayetteville, North Carolina. This is Hang Time, owner of the 2-6 Wrestling Academy, owner of Next Level Pro Wrestling. And with these companies, we have standards, and our mission statement basically says integrity, work ethic, commitment. If you think you have what it takes to go to the next level or get into 2-6 Wrestling Academy, make contact with me by social media, Instagram, Next Level Pro Wrestling, Facebook. Go to the Facebook, go to Instagram, hit me up, tell me, show me what you got. You can reach Next Level Pro Wrestling and the 2-6 Wrestling Academy at 910-778-4434.
Yeah, that's his wrestling school. He's promoting on our radio station. So now you guys all know Hang Time. So I'm just curious, what's the story there? How did all you guys meet? And I'm gonna start with Stro here. How did you meet Hang Time?
Oh man, I met Hang Time some years back, and the Fayetteville area, and man, what a great guy. I enjoyed being in the ring with him. I enjoyed hanging out with him. Always made good for a few laughs. It
Yeah.
cracked me up a few times, and we had a match one time with Nikita Koloff being our special guest referee, which was really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So, but yeah, Hang Time, man, it would. What a great dude. Good people.
Yeah. Well, we worked together, and then I actually met Trent through music, and in Small World, kind of find out he was a pro wrestler as well, wrestling with 2-6 Wrestling and Next Level Pro Wrestling, and that's how we met, and then we ended up getting a band together. So, Trent,
Nice.
So Trent,
Nice.
so you met Stro through the wrestling with him, or how'd that work?
I met him through wrestling with him. Um, like I said, the company we used to work for, UPWA in Wilmington, North Carolina. That's where I met him. I actually met Moses Manson like a year.
Mm-hmm.
I actually met Moses Manson like a couple of months before I met Stro. That was in 2015. uh, I left Ring Wars Carolina, RWC, and started venturing out. And that's when Don Brower he liked my work, he liked my in ring work, and he decided to book me for UPWA, and that's how I met Stro and Moses Manson and Mike Orlando, Sonny Kiss, there's a couple others I'm forgetting. But
Yeah, that's,
the crew that was there. That was pretty good crew.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
that's yeah. LA
Uh,
Tank also. LA Tank.
LA Tank. Okay, I've never heard that name
Yeah,
before. That's cool. That's interesting. It's a small
that's a
world.
badass name though.
yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, Stro, reflections in your legacy. So when fans think of you, do you prefer they to remember you as the Maestro, the Stro, Papa Stro, or do you embrace all personas equally?
I embrace it all, man. It's all. At the end of the day, it's all an extension of you.
Yeah.
And if they appreciate you and your craft and your body work, that's what it's all about. Love and appreciation, and that's why we do what we do.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I was
Yeah.
watching a compilation video when I was researching you. When Anthony said, "Hey, you need to get Stro on your show," I said, "You know what? I'm gonna send out an invite and see what he says." But I was watching a compilation of the slams that you did, and holy moly, like when you slam people, that whole ring like would jump and shake. You slammed the mess out of them. That's for sure.
Oh man, I was a pistol, man. Oh my god, I well I had some training years ago. I was with I used to train with a mixed martial arts group called PWFI. They were competitors of Pride Fight in Japan, and
Oh yeah, I heard
they're
about those guys. Yeah.
yeah, and at the time they would have an event once in a blue moon. They weren't persistent like pro wrestling or even the UFC like it is now. So that's why I went back into the pro wrestling circuit. But I learned a lot. I did. I learned so much about pressure points, takedowns. I remember our sensei when they were teaching us, right? With first thing I remember him doing was like 60 different leg submission holds in 2 minutes flat. And our jaws were dropping, right? But thankfully, took time out to show each one real slow, right? And up to that point, I had the wrestling background and everything, but I had no knowledge of striking and submissions and all that. But I learned that over there, and then got to train with Dan Severn and watched matches with Gary Albright, and Vader was there at the time. The Takata was the champion, I believe. But it was a great learning experience, and it helped me greatly when I got back into pro wrestling to know what to do, how to protect yourself, and how to protect others in case the time was needed for it.
Yeah, yeah.
Word.
Now, in wrestling, accidents and stuff like that can happen and stuff like that. So, like, what's the requirements for you as a wrestler? Like, is there things where you have to carry a certain amount of insurance as an individual, or like how's that work in the wrestling community?
Well, we need more insurance than we're given. Let's put it that way.
Right.
You
Yes,
know
I agree.
what we do. Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
But it's like we're prepared. We're always prepared, even though it's a planned strategy going in. Well, we're always prepared to improvise because, like you alluded to earlier, anything can happen. We could step wrong, you get hurt. Someone could lose their cool, or some rage fan could go AWOL, if you will. I mean, we have to be prepared at all times for different situations. I mean, there's a lot that goes into being a pro wrestler. So many aspects of it that we have to be aware of. It's not just the wrestling. It's we have to be aware of our surroundings, what's going on, and it's a basically it's a team effort. We all have to look out for each other.
Word.
I will.
Did,
I will ask. Go ahead.
I was gonna ask, have you ever sustained any injuries or near injuries or any almost injured where you like sprained yourself or anything like that?
Oh my gosh, so many times. Oh my god, I I remember one time in the match in Cleveland, Ohio, the match with Boss Mahoney, ECW,
Yeah.
That's, and I went to do a Takama Shinoku dive on Mahoney, which I knew he was big enough to catch me, right? And some fan ran in between us while I'm in the air, right? And I had to shift my body to avoid hitting the fan. And I ended up tearing a ligament in my back of my thigh, right?
Wow.
And I ended up finishing the match. And I remember I went to execute a German suplex for the finish, and it was like the worst, painful German suplex I've seen, because that pain just shot up through my leg and my spine, and it took me a bit to rehab to get it going again. But and believe it or not, I had to work through that because I had some matches after that. You know what I mean? So it's tough. I've been lacerated. I've been stabbed.
Damn.
You name it. So, but I mean, nothing.
Oh, wow.
Knock on wood, that's kept me out for a long duration. So,
Yeah, Trent,
but
you had a question?
Yeah, my question was the same question Chris was asking.
Oh,
So
okay,
that's
okay. All
yeah.
right. Well, I got a tough question for you, Stro. This is pretty tough. What's one moment in your career that fans might have overlooked, but you're most proud of?
I've had so many great moments. So many great people to share the ring with. The match I've had, notably with Rob Van Dam, were really amazing. I mean, you know, everybody, people in the business, they have that certain person, dance partner, if you will, that you have the chemistry with, and have great match, and you feel like you can go in a match blindfolded with him, right? Rob Van Dam was one of those guys.
Oh, wow.
One of those guys. Barbarian. We had some really good matches with Barbarian. Ricky Steamboat was amazing. My gosh.
Yeah,
Being
Ricky
ring
was tough.
Matt with him, Bobby Eaton was just amazing. Tony Atlas had some good matches with Tony Atlas, and I learned a lot from Tony. And Pistol Best Watley was like one of my kind of like behind the scenes mentors at the time. Him and Junkyard Dog, and they gave me a lot of good advice.
So there's a question from a fan here. They say, what or how many times do you find yourself reflecting back on everything you've done in your life, and what makes you the most proud? So that's kind of close to what we just asked, I think. But
well, I'm just to be a part of this great wrestling family. It's always been a lifelong passion for me, and the fact that I've helped others see their dreams in the business, and the people I've helped to get where they're at today, to realize I had a hand in it. I just kind of live vicariously to their happiness, right? So
yeah,
it always makes me feel good to see people do well. I mean, I know you hear stories about some people who are afraid they'll get too much shine, they'll take away from our spot or deal or all that, but it never bothered me. There's room for success for everybody that wants to pursue it, and if just when you see somebody having that level of success and happiness, and you realize you were part of that, it just elevates you just as much as it does them, right? So it's a good feeling.
All right. There's another question here. It says, you've had over 3 decades in the business. What advice would you give young wrestlers chasing the dream today?
Well, never give up. Never be persistent. Take care of yourself. Learn from as many people that have reached that level. I mean, success breeds success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Iron sharpens iron, right?
Yeah.
Real recognizes
Right.
real. So learn from the best, and be yourself. Every persona, gimmick, what have you, the ones that last are because they're extensions of your own personality,
Yeah.
of who you are. So
I like
you
that.
just take who you are and simplify it and exaggerate it tenfold.
All right. That's awesome. And we got another message from a sponsor here. We're going to play real quick, and then we're going to get in some more details here.
Lycanthrope Entertainment, where we bring nightmares and dreams to the screens. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Lycanthrope Entertainment, or email us at lycanthropeentertainmentllc@gmail.com.
All right, that's a message from Lycanthrope Entertainment. They're part of the North Carolina Film Festival. The guy, I think he works with Anthony. I'm not 100% sure, but so Mr. Kellum, what's your current projects that you're working on now, and what's in the future for you?
Well, I'm just getting my health back up to speed now, and everything. I've had a rough go of it health-wise the past couple of years, but I'm back in the area. North Carolina area, and I've got my own weekly podcast on vocnation.com, WCW Retro. We talk about wrestling nostalgia and history and all that. It's always a good time, and I do that weekly. I have a new website, chirp.me/Rob Kellum, and which is a one-stop online for everything, news, updates, etc. I'm making myself available now for commentary, appearances, etc. Which I've been doing commentary this year with UPWA, and I'm looking to do commentary with other promotions as well, and seminars, that sort of thing, and appearances, Comic-Cons, conventions.
Yeah.
So forth. So I'm kind of getting back out there now that I'm getting my health back up to speed, and I'm in a much better place. So
yeah, well,
You
that's
had,
amazing. So applause for that. Yeah, well, we're happy you're back, man.
And doing what I can with I've been helping back with the Eno River Media too. I'm back helping out with them, and just anywhere I feel the good Lord takes me, right? Because I'm here because the grace of Jesus.
Yeah,
He saved my life.
Verse? What's your, I guess your greatest quote from the Bible that you love the most?
There's two actually, John 3:16 and Jeremiah 29:11.
That's awesome.
Yeah, they're two great verses, and it got me through a lot of hard times. And like I said, I've survived a coma, multiple surgeries, and God knows, being dangerous environment, etc. Past couple of years, and I moved away out of state, unfortunately, and got stuck off the grid, if you will, and was away, abandoned from society, that sort of thing. So I mean, the journey to come back here has been a long one, but God saved me when the world thought I was done. God said, "No, you're not leaving yet." So here I am, and
that's right. Amen.
So I'm just blessed to be here with you all.
Yeah.
Amen to that. Amen to
We're
that.
glad to have you, man. Now, Chris, did they get rid of the Fayetteville Comic-Con, or is it something else? Do you know?
It's they sort of kind of did, but I think they changed it to fan something.
Fandom or something?
I think
like
yeah, something like that. I think they're still trying to keep the spirit of the Comic-Con thing, but just like I guess they're going through a different ownership, different stuff. I'll probably look into it to see what they're gonna do because we haven't had a convention in a while. I think I've been to the last one, if I'm not mistaken, or the
That
second
was
to last one.
The last one I was at, Stro was there. Yeah.
Sure was
right.
there, was it?
Yeah, it was
Okay.
wild.
wasn't that in wasn't that
Rob Van
last
Dam was
April?
there too. No, that was a while back. I think it
Was
was
it
over a year
2023 around
ago.
that time? Or was okay? I got confused. I went to the because I was thinking about the one from 2023.
Yeah.
No, I think the
But
last one was last year, wasn't it? It was last
yeah,
2024.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know they
The
did
last
one,
one was
but it
last
wasn't.
year.
If I remember correctly, it wasn't as successful as the one that Stro was at.
You talking about GalaxyCon? Was that the one?
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't GalaxyCon. It was the one in Fayetteville. Stro was
Oh,
there. They had Rob Van Dam,
Fayetteville
the Hardy
Comic Con.
Boys. So all those guys were there. So, but Stro, we're approaching an hour. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I try to keep the shows to an hour. So I really appreciate you being on that show, Fayetteville, Haynes Broadcasting. We broadcast to 33 million people worldwide through Live 365, and it's been a blessing to have you on, and it's good to see that you're doing good, man.
Thank you all so much, and any help I can be with you guys, yeah, please let me know.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you.
anytime. Yeah, and
Anytime, man.
there is an event coming up October 25th. If you're in the area of Fayetteville or Rayford, North Carolina, Castle Hoke, they have an event. It's a vampire concert thing, but they're going to have the sexiest vampire competition. They're looking for judges.
Okay.
A guy named Jurgen runs it. He's actually a sponsor of us, and I'm going to play his sponsorship since we're talking about him. I'm going to play it right here, right now.
Looking for the perfect venue for your next big event? Welcome to Castle Hoke, located at 1307 Myra Road in Rayford, North Carolina, where unforgettable moments come to life. Whether it's a rocking concert, a magical wedding, a spooky vampire ball, or a corporate event that leaves an impression, Castle Hoke has the space, the style, and the services you need. From elegant wedding ceremonies to high-energy concerts, Castle Hoke is the go-to spot for hosting the events that matter. Book now at Castle Hoke and turn your dreams into reality. Call 910-229-6974 to book your event today.
Castle Hoke is a proud sponsor of Haynes Broadcasting.
And that's Castle Hoke. But if you're out, you're going to have the sexiest vampire competition for the sexiest dressed vampire. So if you're out, I invited Anthony out. We're going to be broadcasting live there and interviewing bands. So if you want to come on and be a co-host, we'll love to have you out there. We're going to be interviewing bands and the vampires. So it's going to be cool. So, but that's it for that show. I appreciate everybody coming on. Chris, Trent, I appreciate you being part of this. And anything we could do in the future to help promote anything that you got, send it to me. We'll promote it for free on our website as well as the all the station networks. We got over 300 platforms we're on right now, and I've been doing this since 2004, so it's been a blessing. So,
Thank you all for having me, and God bless you all.
All right, and that's it for that show, Fayetteville. You guys listen to us show Fayetteville. Check us out on haynesbroadcasting.org, and that's it for that show. Peace. All right, and that's it. That's the end of the